Hello everybody, this is the Imagine Of, and welcome to the Imagine This Let's Play series. And we're here today with an exciting episode where we're going to get into some technical Minecraft redstoning. But first I wanted to say, if you're enjoying the series and you want to take a look in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, there is a little icon there for the Imagine Of. If you click on that, you can hit the subscribe button. And if you like the videos that you're seeing, please leave a like. It lets me know what's going on. And so to get into what we're doing today, we need, because of our choice, I made a choice on our building block for our pyramid. And one of the blocks I want to use is smooth sandstone. And I'd like to just be able to smelt that up in an efficient way, making good use of our coal. So we've got all the things together, and I'm excited to announce right here, there's more than enough resources. Pardon my booming voice today. There's more than enough resources for me to build the Ilmango auto smelter. And he has a great video. The link is in the description, and I ask that you please check out that video, because if you want to see a master build something and demonstrate it very clearly, he is the master. So we had to get some materials. He has a material list for this there. I have extra stuff in here for other things, but this is, we needed a bunch of hoppers. We needed some furnaces, some extra chests, some torches, repeaters, a couple comparators, and yeah, so we had quite a bit of things that we had to get together. And in between episodes, I don't want to make this too long, but I spent a really long, probably obsessive compulsively long period of time going under my floors in this area and behind this area, eliminating lava. We had lava here, and if you go back and take a peek at when we first dug the mine, you'll see that these areas were here, but they were extensive. And when I mean extensive, they went down into the bedrock. They went in every direction, all over the place, and I probably got a little crazy because I wanted to be able to do things behind our auto smelter, and maybe add some other features to our, maybe a sorting system or some other things that we might do with it. And I just wanted to make sure that when I'm working in this area or over in this area, that I wasn't going to run into a ton of lava, which really can kind of slow you down when you're building. So that said, here is the workspace. I am in the process of clearing out. We need, I believe it's 4 blocks wide, 29 blocks long, and 7 blocks high. So I'm going to get to work on finishing this out, and then I'm going to lay in our decorative blocks that are going to kind of encase the auto smelter from underneath, above, and on the side, so that when we go in and look at the redstone and check it all out, or need to do any kind of maintenance or anything, or add things to it, it'll look good. So this is quite an undertaking, and I'm going to do the very best I can to build his auto smelter. So if you're ready to get started today, we're gonna get cracking at this, and I'll be back when I get this stuff cleared out and our decorative blocks laid in place, so that we have a nice clean workspace to do the building in. Okay, here we are in the middle of working on getting to our next progress update, and I wanted to point out that if you're ever doing something like this and you're prepping your space and you don't have maybe scaffolding, okay, like made from bamboo, and you're trying to clean out the space above your head, you can always just make some little walkways. I always throw a bunch of light in, because if you're at this end, you're over 16 blocks away and you might have a thing spawn, a mob over here. And the other thing I wanted to say is, because our block design, or what we're building, is 7 blocks high, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This block below here, the floor level, is going to have some redstone blocks that go down below where our chest is. We want our chest at floor level. So we are going to take out this bottom section, but we want to take it out after we finish doing our work above our heads. So also, if it goes up to 7 blocks, this is 7 right here, we don't want to not be able to stand on top of it. So I'm going to take the 2 blocks out above where the top part of the build is, so that we can move around freely above it, okay? And that's all. We'll be back when we get this thing looking a lot better. And here we are, everybody. We have finished cleaning out our workspace and getting in pretty much the basic decoration blocks for the background. I haven't worked on this side because I'm not exactly sure how far back I'm going to line this up in here. So, you know, I went with some dark oak because I kind of thought it looked industrial and kind of like strong, and some smooth stone for the bottom here, and some regular old stone blocks to just kind of make the base look like, yeah, you know, we had to stack some stones in here to make this all, you know, perfect and support everything. So at this point, we are ready to start laying in some of the first sections of this build. I'm following his tutorial because I can't build something like this from memory. For some of you guys that may be watching this, you're probably experts and really good at remembering things, and so you may not have to take that step. But we're gonna kind of do these in a series of short updates, and I'll kind of explain you know, what we added from from each update to the next update until we get the thing built. So the first thing I'm going to work out is the initial line of hoppers and furnaces and how that lines up with where I want our chest. I want our stuff to be on this side. In the tutorial, it's built in this direction with the chests down here. So I just got to build the thing in reverse. That's probably the only thing that's got me a little nervous. And I do want to add that up here, we used polished andesite, and I thought that looked pretty good for what we're doing. So without any other delay, we're going to get to work, and I will show you what I can get done in a few series of progress updates. So let's try some Ilmango level building today, and we'll be back here in a few. Okay, here we are with kind of the very first basic simple steps, and I'm pretty sure I have this lined up the way I want. I may, depending on building it backwards, just throws my brain into a tailspin, but depending on how big of a decorative area I make for the input-output system on this side, I wanted to leave myself plenty of room. I may have to scoot this wall over one or something, but that's not a big deal. But so you can see you have your output line, your 23 furnaces, your inputs in the top, and then in the back here we have the inputs to the rear of each furnace. So that's step one. As you can see, it's going to be pretty intense. We're getting ready to bust out the next part in a few. Okay, here we are back with another update, and we're starting to get into the meat and potatoes of the parts that really can confuse Imagine. So I'm actually building this, it looks backwards from the video because I'm building it in the opposite direction, and so I'm having to be very careful to make sure that everything is the right direction. But this is the process right here. This repeats itself, and I was just going to kind of show you what's going on here. So you have to be blocking off pieces of redstone from other things, and it gets kind of hairy. So I'm not the world's best redstone guy, so I'm not going to even try to compete with Ilmango on performing on camera. But so the basic thing is these circuits, I guess, control all the timing of when things are released and moved, and it's very critical for this to be functioning in the proper manner. So if you get this wrong, nothing is going to time out right, and that always makes me scared. But we're going to do it, and the Imagine of is going to try to accomplish this, and hopefully it'll work when I'm done building it. And yeah, so this is not my comfort zone, folks, but we're going to do it because I want to make this happen. And I did read one thing that said that because of an update or a change in the way that you can do these redstone dots, now you can click on them and change the way they behave. You have to modify a couple of the dots the way he places them in the video to make it work with 1.16.4. So we're gonna finish this line out here, and that will be probably the most complex part of the redstone. And then there's some more on the back here, but yeah, I just wanted you to see this is what's going on, and we'll keep plugging away. Okay, here we are. Not too much longer later. It's been kind of more difficult to build in survival than I thought, but I did get it finished, and I didn't really have that many complications. It was just very difficult to get the right perspective that I needed to ensure that I was putting things in the correct place, because I don't have that thorough knowledge of exactly what's going on here. So I have to pretty much make sure everything looks exactly like the one in the video, only backwards. Okay, so what it wound up being is, this is the supply line across the top and the timing for it. And if you watch the video, we got to put our inputs in still. But this brings that and drops them into these little hoppers underneath here in a specific timing. And then our fuel line, which is going to be fed from this hopper, will feed down. Let's take a look. Feed down into this line, which is controlled by all this redstone. And it was a challenge to see this backwards, and the only place I got really boogered up was down here in this corner, because I just could not get the right perspective I needed to see what I was doing. And so I had to build this set of scaffolding to make sure that what I was doing was actually, in fact, the correct thing. So yeah, here we go, and that's what it looks like. And this is what I was talking about here, the little plus shapes or cross shapes. The comment in the video, one of the comments said specifically it was for this fuel line in the back. And so this is the fuel line that we're looking at. We'll go take one more look at it. But I guess the way that hoppers are, blocks are powered on redstone has changed a little bit, and if this was not a plus, it would not power that hopper, or either of these blocks, I guess, for that matter. So anyway, that's kind of the technical side. It's been a bit of a challenge. I'm going to grab a little bite to eat and take a mental breather, and then I'm going to come back, throw some input chests in, and we are going to test it out and see if what we did actually works. I know Ilmango's design works because he built it, but I built this one, so we'll have to make sure I didn't make any errors. I was tried to be as careful as possible, and so we'll be back in just a couple minutes, and after I get a break, and we're gonna set this up and see what we get out of it. Okay, everybody, we're back again for the, I guess, the final build progress update, and I've got it all put together, and that was a challenge. The old confident, the Imagina, I've got a little worried there for a minute that I'm not good enough with redstone to figure this out, but I am good enough with redstone to figure this out. We got it all put together, and I threw some stuff in there, and everything just went, the fuel dispensed properly, but then everything just kind of went to this hopper and into this hopper. So what I figured out too was that we needed this to be shaped like a cross to power this block, and then everything started working properly. So I've got my fingers crossed tentatively. I think everything's ready, so we're going to do a little demonstration. If it doesn't work perfectly, I'm not going to freak out, but you know, I'll if it doesn't, I'm going to have to scratch my head for a little bit and figure it out. So until I get these labeled, I have to be fairly careful what side I put these in, unless I want to go fish a bunch of things out of hoppers. So this is the place where we put what we want smelted, and this is the place where we put our fuel. And so I'm going to go ahead and just grab a little more fuel. I don't have that much stuff to smelt. I've been smelting things and cooking things to get experience to fix my tools, because we don't have the experience grinder up yet. So we're going to have to be happy with what we're getting here. And so we're going to try it out here. I'm going to throw 4 stacks of sand, 17 iron, and 3 gold ore in there. And we're just going to see how she works. And they should all kick on about at the exact same time. And it takes, there we go, perfectly. Just like so. And the only thing that makes my little heart not want to beat right is if everything winds up in this one here. But as you can see, what happens is every time an item goes through, perfectly timed, you don't even see the new item come in there. That's how perfectly timed the Ilmango's smelter is. It is absolutely perfection on the timing. As long as you build it right, it'll work. So there it is. And I tell you what, you see the timing system there going, and there is one on the top, and we can see that fire here on the end for the new items. There it goes. And that just is exactly what it needs to unlock everything and relock it precisely in line with game ticks. So, I mean, you know, this is a work of art. We actually built it, and I'm still a little hesitant. I'm scared to brag on it, because I just feel like, you know, I could always do something silly at any moment to mess it up. But there it is, in perfect unison, doing its thing. And it is, we won't be wasting any coal, and it is quite efficient. I think you can do between 10 and 17,000 items an hour with this thing. So, yeah, when we get down to making all our blocks for the pyramid, this is going to be our machine that we use. So now we just need some stuff to build our pyramid and to do our decorating down here, because this is pretty hideous, and I really wanted to get going on that. But I just, if I put this off and I get used to just doing everything in a little setup like this, I'll never do this. So, you know, yeah, there you go, man. It works, people. And there's our 3, our 17, and our 4 stacks, and it was the most efficient use of coal that we could possibly do. So I recommend that video, but the only thing to know is that you have to, and I'll demonstrate or point out where they're at, just in case any of you all try to build this thing. All of these dots on the back have to be crosses, okay? Or they will not power the hoppers properly. And then the only other thing that someone failed to mention was that this has to be a cross. And that's a new game mechanic, an adjustment made, but everything else can be just standard lines of redstone just like you normally do. And that's it, guys and gals. We did it. So what I want to finish the episode up with is I'm going to spend some time trying to decorate the outside of this. And I'll come back to you here in just a few to wrap this up. I couldn't be more excited about this machine. And we'll get this looking really great and fit it in to our situation here. And thank you so much for bearing with me while I did that, and we'll be right back. And we're back, everybody. Welcome to the newly decorated area. I'm not 100% sure this is the final thing, but it's a little bit plain yet. But at least it gets all the stone and the irregular stuff out of here. I'm going to kind of lagging a little bit. I've got some stuff going in the background, but once I get the design laid out in here, I'm probably going to carry over features from in there into here and incorporate them just to tie it together. But just initially, so we don't have to look at all the yucky stuff, got it decorated. I had to make one short trip to the Nether, and that was kind of exciting, but I got everything labeled, and I feel like we got the back here is all done and everything's lit up, so we're not going to have any trouble with mobs. I think we did great today, and now we have a usable super smelter that is of the most efficient design, and I'm so thankful that you guys joined today and enjoyed if I can get my view right here, enjoyed the build with me. Hopefully you learned something. I know I did. Ilmango is super smart, and so I hope you check out that link. And I hope to see you next Tuesday. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming up in our next episode. So see you then.